What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Block Hash Podcast channel. Let's talk crypto. Today, we're going to be doing chart analysis on HBAR, Hedera Hash Graph. Make sure to check out Patreon if you want to get access to this before it goes out on YouTube. We do all our chart analysis there for the price of 2 cups of coffee a month. Be sure to check it out. Also, check out our sponsor, BENFT. They're revolutionizing education using DeFi methods and artificial intelligence combined to change the way they deliver education and students can learn. It's fantastic. Check out all the links in the description below. All right, so let's see what's going on with HBAR. Obviously, in July, we had a pretty good turnaround. I think June, we saw a lot of this start to turn around for some cryptos, but August hasn't been as friendly. However, HBAR has been steady for whatever reason. Now, this is something we need to pay very close attention to. HBAR always has a lot going on. They always have strategic partnerships they're forming, but we're just going to look at the chart and the analysis and see where things are really going. All right, so we're going to do this live together. We got a trending higher low trend line forming here. You can see it very clearly, more or less. It's not going to be exact, but it seems to be slowly moving and accumulating to the upside. Recently, a little bit more steeply if we ignore these wicks that came in just in the past week, okay? We also have a long-term descending trend line. If we want to count this as a peak, okay, adjust just a little bit. I draw it all the way up, but it'll just run into the wall here. So at the very beginning of the year, in January, we had a run-up in HBAR. Compared to where it's been before, this is really nothing. We're looking to hopefully get back to maybe 16 cents at some point, maybe get to 26 cents. HBAR is a long ways off from that. But nonetheless, in January, we saw a strong move out of HBAR to start the year, getting as high as almost 8 cents around the 20th of January and peaking at almost 10 cents, 9 cents, 0.99, 12th of February. Ever since 12th of February, we have drastically pulled back, okay? Showing no sign of really slowing down until we got to this point here in June, all right? So from February, March, April, May, June, 4 months of horrific shit. And then the last 2 months, we've seen a trend to the upside. So the question is this going to be short-lived like we saw here in January to February in that stretch of time? Maybe. Who knows? The worst case scenario and what could potentially happen, we have to talk about it, as always. We don't hold this trend line down here and we come down again. That would spell disaster. We don't want to see that. That's not the most ideal situation. What could potentially happen is if we can continue forward, I'm just trying to adjust this chart here, is I don't know if we're going to hold this trend line. We could come back and back test some more in the mid 5s, and we could make a run to the upside, potentially. Or from here, at any point in time, HBAR could wick to the upside. Given the fact that HBAR has been trending in this general direction, I'm more inclined that we're likely to see a breakout occur. It's better than what we had in January, where it just shot straight up and then fell off a cliff, whereas this is a slow march to the upside. And when you see this happen and you start to put together a relative funnel, we're going to say something like this, and you break out of that funnel, there's a potential to make a big leap. This is a very healthy pattern over the long term. Over the short term, like if it stopped out here, this would have been disastrous, okay? I thought I was going to break out down here sometime beginning of August, but HBAR just kept chopping its way to the upside, getting as high as 7.5 cents. The problem is there is resistance at this area around 7.5 cents. There's resistance here, upside and downside, historically around 6263. All right, some floors, some ceilings, some floors, some ceilings. Here we are again, shopping around. Is this going to be a floor? Is this going to be a ceiling? We don't know yet, but it is crunch time. We're going to find out for HBAR. Looking a little bit more closely on the Bollinger Bands, we are, another good sign, we are trending generally above the moving average for the Bollinger Bands. And we've dipped down a little bit, but the key is when you dip down below the moving average, you hit the Bollinger Band and you pop up. Okay? Same thing here. Came down in beginning of August, tried to touch that Bollinger Band, popped back up. Came down here. This time we didn't cross below the moving average. We had a big pop up. Came back down, went through the moving average, held pretty well, popped back up. So now we're coming back down. We're going to get close to that moving average as we get it into later in the week. And we're going to find out if we try to back test all the way to the Bollinger Band, which could be anywhere around here, 5.5 cents at that point. And if we pop off this moving average around 6 cents flat, which we're kind of sitting at already, will we pop up? And then we have to break through this Bollinger Band. We've popped through the Bollinger Band on the top side multiple times, but have not held at all until here we broke out, but we didn't hold a steeper trend. Okay, came right back down. Tried to break out here, came back down. So the good news with the Bollinger Band is it's trending in the right direction, and it seems to want to stay above that moving average, and it's not making lower lows. It's making higher lows. All good signs. Back out of the Bollinger Bands, look at the EMA. On the EMA, the 200 moving average is very, very important. We popped above it pretty strongly in January, but we did not hold, and we came back down below the 200 and every other moving average. Okay, again, back in June, we got through most of the moving averages, the 20, the 50, and the 100, and we're able to stay above it by the time we got in July. Okay, hovering. We're staying above pretty solidly. Now, we cross and hold above the 200 moving average, which is right here. Coincidentally, the 200 moving average is very much aligned, as well as the 20-day moving average, with the Bollinger Bands moving average. So everything has tightened up, for better or worse. And when things tighten up, it's more like a coil spring type of action. So I'm expecting HBAR to either chop sideways or come down and touch one of these moving averages, probably the 200-day. The 200-day is always the most important and the strongest. The bigger the time span for a moving average, the more accurate you can be in predicting overall trend. In the short term, the 20, the 50, the 100, those can give you better ideas if you want to swing trade, what direction the market's moving. The 200 is going to tell us when we're going to move into real bull and bear cycles. All right, I'll give you an example of this. All the way back here in late 2020. Okay, that's kind of where we're at right now. This is August of 2020 for comparison. After having blow off top earlier in the year, different period of time, but made our way to a little bit of a higher high. Around, guess what? 6.2, 6.1, 6.3, around the same area we're at now. Okay, in the fall, it pulled back drastically. It was ugly. It sucked. And then by the time we got to the end of the year, to a turning point, boom. Every 3 years for altcoins, we do the same thing. And we're almost there again. We had a big candle. You go from 3 cents to 6 cents. You double your money in a day. Those type of moves. But this was really tight, really tight movement. Not a lot going on. It just settled. I don't think we're going to settle that low. We're probably going to settle at a much higher point, which is around where we're at now. Okay? Probably anywhere between low 5s and high 6. When we get to this point and we bust above the moving averages, especially the 200, look how well we sit above the 200 moving average in a bull market. This is all early 2021. Altcoin bull markets happen in very short time spans. Then most 2021 we pulled back and had this second move in late 2021, which would be the equivalent of 2024. Early to late 2024 for the real big moves. Again, came down, buoyancy effect, popped back above the 200 moving average, stayed in a bull market. And then when we collapsed down, we had a retest. And when that retest failed on the 200 moving average, that's how we confirmed a bear market in January of 2022. And that bear market was consistent. Right now, we popped above, did not stay above. We're looking to potentially pop again. Very similar scenarios to late 2020, here in late 2023. We are above it right now. Now the question is this the beginning of that move for a big bull market run and we're waiting for this massive fucking candle to come in? That is a possibility. It is all in play. Because when it happens rapidly. The other possibility is we struggle until we get a real move. All right. And looking at the RSI on the daily, the RSI is not oversold or overbought, but it is sitting on the higher side of the RSI, which is fine. That doesn't really tell a whole lot other than we've definitely oversold a couple times on HBAR, actually twice in a row. So I don't think there's a lot of sell demand for HBAR at the moment. I think most people have exited their positions. This is a trickle effect of people slowly accumulating. Should we pull up MACD real quick? Why not? Why not? Let's do it. MACD is really good for determining. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Where did this go? Not clicking all the wrong things. Because I'm an idiot. Sandwich. Go here. Just remove it. Okay. MACD. All right, so the MACD is really good for determining if we're in bear or bull cycles as well as trend trajectory. You look historically, just in this year alone, you can see that in effect when it crosses the red line, the blue line when it crosses, usually that signals up or down pretty accurately. So same thing here with the MACD. We are above the red line in a bullish territory, above the volume averages. Buy volume has kind of trickled down as of lately, but that could very easily flip red or green at any point in time. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, how strong is it? Right now, there's not a lot of sell volume, which is a good sign. It got very, very oversold, and that's how we got to those points on the RSI. And then the buying pressure seems to be stronger than the selling pressure, which is why we have this funnel. And we got a little bit more buy pressure pile on. So I'm curious, do we get some sell pressure? Do we push back down to test the bottom side of this funnel? Or is this enough for us to move more strongly to the upside? Only time will tell. So let's keep an eye on that. Right now, today, the markets are a bit red. But that's how things go. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down, red and green, by small percentages too. So trickling along, personally just waiting till we get to the end of the fall. I think that's where the real action will happen for altcoins. All right, that's my take on HBAR. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. You guys are the best. And I'll see you guys back here for another episode tomorrow. Cheers.